Hello everyone, my name is Risha and today I'm going to do a reading tag. Welcome if you're new here and welcome back if you've been here for a while. I saw this tag going around on BookTube and I don't think I've been tagged by anyone specific, but there's a tag which was created last month by Biblio Sophie and an account I just found out about recently, and the tag is called What Matters About Reading. And I thought it was a really interesting tag, and I just thought I will do like a sit down kind of video with you guys and go through some of these questions, because I thought I'll just do an unprepared like sort of video about like a casual chatting about what reading means. So this tag has 9 questions. Let's go through them. So the first question is, what do you want to get out of reading and what stays with you after? What I want to get out of reading at the moment in my life is joy, reflection on life, learning about people. I usually try and find similarities or a connection with people through reading. I do believe we're all human and we do share, these innate natures which are just same for everyone. And I love to find out about characters or stories because I do tend to read fiction more. So I love to find out about characters which resonate with me. And when I see them figure out things or learn about things or say things which resonate with me, I love that. But I also want to say that what I want to get out of reading at the moment is more knowledge. And I didn't think I would be that person who would be reading non-fiction by choice, trying to learn about the world, because I cannot trust what I see on television or newspapers anymore. So I need to actively seek stories and narratives that are being suppressed. And in order to do that, I need to connect with people from all over the world and read about their stories. So yes, that is definitely what I want to get out of reading. And what stays with you after? I think stories stay with me, whether they're happy stories, sad stories. What stays with me is the feeling of connection, of growth, of impacts. I'm not sure if I'm making any sense, and when I do these sit down kind of videos, I tend to edit out a lot of the stuff I'm saying because I just feel like English is not my first language and I'm not expressing what I want to say as articulately as I want. But I'm gonna try and be generous with my editing and leave bits out. So if there are people like me whose English isn't their first language and they understand what I'm saying, then they might benefit from it. The second question is, what is reading with intention? Reading with intention is actively trying to find out stories, research about books, and looking for like if you go in a messy room and there's like books everywhere, intentional reading would be just browsing for that one particular book that you need right now and then going ahead and reading it. That's what intentional reading is for me. You go to bookshops and there's these bestseller lists and these price lists of books you need to read for 2025 or 2026. There might be some merit in it, I'm not disowning them, but they might not be the books you need right now, and you need to be intentional about what you need for you to stay connected to reading. For example, as a new mother, I was very intentional about what books I needed as a new mom, and I was actively seeking them out, which is not easy. When someone asks me for a book recommendation, I'm just lost, because when I'm trying to find a book for myself, I can spend days, months sometimes, looking for that book. It might not be right there when you enter Waterstones or when you open a website, and it wouldn't be there on the best-selling list. So I found books that were like on these Booker price lists like maybe 5 years ago, but they are needed by me now. And I think that's what's intentional reading. You just find the book you need and then read it. I think it will have more impact than just reading anything or reading something which is which you're supposed to. What interests you about somebody else's relationship to a book? If I look at people around me, I see a lot of my friends trying to read for escape from reality. So they read fantasy, mystery, thriller, horror, or I see people who want to learn more. So I see people trying to pick self-help books or non-fiction about a particular topic, trying to, learn. Or I see people reading the same book over and over again because it brings them that comfort. But then I go on BookTube or Book Talk, and there's this whole community of people which is reading completely differently. It makes me wonder why we read on BookTube. Like, what is it for, basically? A lot of people on BookTube I'm unable to connect with because I don't find their recommendations would work for me. I mean, I love listening to them talk about books and be happy about books and, find that book that brings that spark or joy in their eyes. And I can see that. And that's what I like about their relationship with books, that it has made them feel, whether that's happiness, joy, sadness, anger, frustration, anything. I love to see that person's relationship with the book. It wouldn't necessarily translate to myself. I wouldn't necessarily be happy to read that book. And the perfect example is The Little Prince, which I recently read and didn't enjoy reading. But I know that a lot of people in the world love that book. And I love their enthusiasm about book. I'm not saying they're lying when, they're giving reviews of this book and saying, oh my God, it's the best book ever. I genuinely think, their relationship with the book and reading and the experience of reading that book is different, but very human and very genuine. And I love to see that genuine spark in someone's eye when they're talking about a book. Fourth question is, how do you talk about books with others? What do you usually want them to know about a book? I don't usually talk to people around me about books, and that's why I'm here talking about books. So that's why this channel exists. But when and if I do talk to people around me about books, it's usually my friends or maybe my husband, and I basically share my excitement about a book with them. Like, for example, the last time I shared my reading with my husband was when I was reading The Vegetarian by Hong Kong, and I was just like, I'm reading this book by this female South Korean writer. She won the Nobel Prize for Literature, and I'm reading this book which I would never read, and it's this crazy book. And he was just like, why are you reading it? And I was like, no, you don't get it. It's like so crazy, but like I'm reading it and I'm so excited. So I guess I just share my excitement about a book with others. And what do you usually want them to know about a book? I usually want them to know how excited I am about a book, unless like it's like a non-fiction and I think they would benefit from it as well. So then I would be like, maybe you should pick this book as well. And I think when I do recommend a book, it's like they're not even asking for a recommendation. So it's just because I have read a certain book and I think they would find it fun or useful, I just recommend it to them. Every time I talk to people around me about books, they're just like, oh, have you read like Khalid Hosseini, these bestseller books? And I'm just like, oh no. Or they would be like, what kind of books do you read? And when I'm like, well, I started with classics and now I'm reading a bit of everything. And they're just like, oh, classics, that's just, okay. I just like to read, romance or love stories. And I'm like, yeah, I spent years reading romance, and yeah, but I'm not reading that at the moment. But I guess everyone's journey is different. So I can't really find people around me reading the same things as me. So do you review books publicly or privately? Well, yes, I review books here. Sometimes I write reviews on Goodreads. I've started doing a lot of that. I'm starting like giving in-depth reviews on Goodreads, and it's sort of a reminder for myself as well, because now when I look at books I read 3 years ago, I'm like, wait, I love this book, but like, why? And my memory isn't that good, so I want a bit of a reminder for myself when I look back on my reading experience 3 years later. So that's why I'm reviewing books. Yeah, they're public, they're definitely public reviews, but they're sort of like for myself as well. They might not be those reviews which are like these academic reviews about, the style of writing and, the language. No, they're just like, I loved it because it was awesome. I hated it because I didn't like it. Like, they're not like academic intellectual literature critique. It's just like a normal person's reviews of reading. I was like listening to videos about this tag by other people, and there was like a lot of criticism about reviews um on Goodreads like mine. It's like, why do you have to review a book? Like, why do you have to rate a book 1 star if it's not meant for you? And I think that's a bit of being on a pedestal and being like, why did you, if it wasn't meant for you, or if you did not understand it, why did you rate it a 1 star? I don't think that's fair. There are all kinds of readers. Not everyone is like, a graduate in English literature. Not everybody's first language is English. I don't know if authors should be going on Goodreads looking at reviews, because if I was an author, I wouldn't do that. I would try not to do that, because that wouldn't be helpful. When I am reading a book, I do go on Goodreads and look at other people's reviews. I go on the 5-star reviews and I go on the 1-star review. I want to know both extremes, because it's like a very clear snapshot of, who this book is meant for. Because if I go on 1 star and there is this person being like, yeah, that book wasn't for me, like, I would be like, yeah, it wasn't for me either, high five. But if I love it and I go read a 5-star review, I'm like, this person gets it. So I think those reviews on Goodreads, whether it's a 1-star or a 5-star, are important equally for everyone. Not every book can be like a 5-star or 1-star for everyone. The next question is, do you use a rating system? Why not? Yes, I do use a rating system, which is like the Goodreads rating system. I am on Storygraph now, so I do use like the point system as well. So like 4.25 or 4.5 or 4.75. So I've noticed I have barely given a 5-star to any book for a long time. The highest I've gone is like maybe 4.5 or 4.75. And I'm also very hesitant to give a book a 1-star review, because the lowest I go is like a 2-star these days. I did used to give like 1 star without hesitation before. If a book is like, I didn't vibe with it, like The Little Prince, I gave it a 2-star, because I can see there are like some bits in it which are like okay, but like it's not that terrible, but again, it's terrible for me. So I give it a 2-star. Unless the book is like a completely unedited mess, then I would give it a 1-star. 3 stars for like, didn't love it, didn't hate it, or loved it at one point, hated it at another. I would give it a 3-star. Like I gave Mild Vertigo by Mika Kunai a 3-star, and then 4 stars usually great. I love that book. Like A Little Luck by Claudia Pinero, I gave a 4-star to, and then 5-star is just like, I love this book, don't talk bad about it. That's the book I gave a 5-star to. So very few of those. I wish there were like more 5 stars around, but I'm happy that there are like lots of 4-star books for me as well, because I genuinely really enjoy them. I think at the top of my head, the 5 stars I can think of are like North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell, Middlemarch by George Eliot, Far from the Madding Crowd by Thomas Hardy, those kinds of books, like Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, Persuasion by Jane Austen. Like the next question is, do you ask yourself if you've liked a book, and how much does liking a book matter? I do ask myself if I have liked a book, but I don't think it matters really, because looking back, I've had books which I did not like or love, but I keep thinking about them. They mattered to me. For example, Mild Vertigo, which is a recent read I keep thinking about, I gave a 3-star to. I was like, I don't like it, but I keep thinking about it. I thought, what a journey it was reading that book. So yes, that book mattered more than my rating of it or ranking of it. There can be books which you don't like, but they still matter more than the ranking you've given them. What do you seek out from others who read publicly? Reviews, summaries, analysis, a curriculum. Not a curriculum. But I tried to look for reviews. Like when I was reading A Little Luck, I searched on YouTube for book reviews of A Little Luck, and I think I listened to 5-6 different people talk about A Little Luck. One of the reasons is I was struggling with the book initially, so I wanted motivation to continue reading it. They didn't have any spoilers, and I'm not the kind of person that really worries about spoilers anyways. But again, excitement about a book by other people around the world makes me intrigued to continue reading. So again, it's not the review, it's more like their feeling or enthusiasm about books motivates me. No, I don't look for summaries or analysis. I think the analysis bit is just not me. I mean, if my brain is analyzing it myself, then that's fine. But I don't need other people to, come and explain what the author was trying to say. If my brain skimmed over it and then it didn't click, the allegory or the ideas didn't seep through my brain while I was reading it, then I don't think it matters. For example, when I went to check the reviews of The Little Prince, there was like lots of people being like, the rose stands for this, the snake means this, and the earth means this. And I was just like, okay, hold on guys, no. A curriculum, not really. I mean, I went on Book Talk looking for books by Haiti writers. So I want those lists. I want lists of books by Caribbean writers, or lists of books that no one talks about, or lists of books that are amazing or unknown, or books about motherhood, or books about this father-son relationship, or that kind of content. I save because that's something I can go back to. So I saved a few videos on TikTok yesterday about like books to read on Haiti. So that's the kind of content I need from BookTube or Book Talk. I also like book wrap-ups because out of the 7 books someone has read in the last month, there might be one book which I go search up and find interesting, or then end up reading. So that's what I do when I'm going on YouTube. I don't know about you guys, but that's what I do. Who do you go to for those things? I discover new people when I'm looking for a particular book, and I have discovered so many different people on YouTube and on TikTok from my searches. So I went and searched for book review of A Little Luck, and then I found out these 3-4 different booktubers which I never knew about. It was like, okay, subscribe. I like the way they're talking about books. That's what I'm here for. So I recently subscribed to a few channels, which let me tell you guys about. So there are a few people I go to just for comfort watching. I go to Books and Things by Katie for like comfort watch. I go to Jack in the Books. I really like his short summary of books. Like it's a one-liner of this book's about this, which I like. And then I found this new channel called Interesting Books Reviewed. He was talking about books on war and possibility of war with Iran. So it was like a list of books he was talking about, and I was like, okay, interesting, I'm gonna subscribe. And then I found this channel by Kate Lee, which I really am enjoying at the moment. So she talks about books she's read, but like out of the books she's read, not all, but there are a few which I can relate with, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds interesting. I think she's reading a lot from a lot of translated works, and she's doing translation of books as well, so it's an interesting channel for me. And then I found out about Roro Reads. I found this channel called Pickled Potato, and she gave a book review about A Little Luck, but there are like no other book related videos on that channel. But I really enjoyed her video on A Little Luck. And then there's a new channel I found out, Spencer. I'm enjoying his journey of reading all the classics and getting into reading and stuff. And then I found this channel I never knew about, Alyssa, aka Nerdy Nurse Reads. Again, this was a channel who was doing a review on A Little Luck, and I found out about it. So I think it's just finding out new people around the globe who are reading, because your vision can become really tunneled when you're just focusing on a few content creators. And I think there's a lot more diverse readers on Book Talk, which I really enjoy. Like, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and please let me know what are your thoughts about reading as well, and what does intentional reading look like for you. Subscribe to my channel if you're new here, and I will see you in my next video, hopefully very, very soon. Bye guys.